Okay, welcome back to our discussion in the subject human rights education. So in this lesson, we will be discussing privacy of communication and correspondence and the provision for freedom of expression. Again, the jumping board for this subject will be the multiple choice question given prior to this lecture. And if you are new in this class or if you do not belong to my class, it's okay for you to join us in answering also the multiple choice question to learn about human rights. So it is expected that at the end of this lesson, the viewers or learners should be able to understand how communication and correspondence is protected by the Constitution and to understand the right of everyone to express. Okay, so we have question number 11. An act protecting individual personal information in information and communications systems in the government and the private sector, creating for this purpose a National Privacy Commission and for other purposes. Okay, so under your Philippine Constitution, Section 3, it prohibits the restraining of freedom of information and we call it freedom of expression. So, with regard to that particular provision of the Constitution, the Congress came up with a law to create a National Privacy Commission and to protect the individual personal information in information and communication systems in the government and even the private. So that is your Republic Act 10173. What about Republic Act 10175? Your Republic Act 10175 is your Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. What about your Republic Act 9995? Well, that is the Anti-Photo and Video Voyeurism Act of 2009. Okay? Ito yung mga paggamit ng mga photograph or mga video cam, okay? Para i-record at manilip ang isang tao, no? So next question, number 12, section 3, paragraph 1, article 3 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution provides the privacy of communication and correspondence shall be inviolable except upon lawful order of the court. In other words, hindi mo dapat uh, pigilan yung privacy ng communication and correspondence ng isang tao unless merong lawful order of the court or when public safety or order requires otherwise. In other words, kung yung sulat mo ay kailangang buksan or yung communication ay kailangang buksan kasi naka at stake doon ang public safety or public order, eh kailangan yan ma-violate yung privacy of communication and correspondence mo. So, in this particular provision of the court, what does it mean by correspondence? Okay? Pag sinabi natin correspondence class, ang tawag natin dyan, yung mga interchange of letters or mails written by one to another. Ito yung mga sulat. Say for example, ano bang privacy to correspondence, okay? Or communication. Kapag gusto mo na walang makarinig sa usapan ninyo, eh dapat wag kang makialam, walang makikialam dapat, no? That's why uh, the privacy of communication is also prohibited by RA 4200, that is your anti-wiretapping law. So hindi pwedeng itap yung telephone line para pakinggan mo yung usapan ng dalawa kasi nga yan ay meron silang privacy of communication. Yun naman correspondence, yung mga sulat. Say for example, yung sulat mo nakapangalan sa'yo and then somebody, your friend, your trusted friend, ay binuksan niya yon kasi best friend nyo naman. So wala kang consent. So eventually, your friend na binuksan yung sulat ninyo o yung sulat mo para sa'yo, personal letter, okay, violated your rights or privacy or your privacy of correspondence at sa idea. Okay? Yung mga sulat, no? Yung mga sa email ninyo, sa private messages ninyo, including diyan yung mga sulat kamay, okay? Na pinapadala sa bawat isa. dapat yan ay protected. Di mo dapat pinapakailam yan or hindi yan pinapakailaman ng iba kasi mababiolate yung privacy of correspondence. Okay. So, further notes again, the freedom to speak includes the right to be silent. So, hindi tayo pwedeng pilitin na magsalita ng nasa isip natin. Okay, so according to the case Terminello versus City of Chicago in the US, the Bill of Rights, which guarantees to the individual the liberty to utter what is in his mind, also guarantees to him the liberty not to utter what is not in his mind. Kaya mayroon nga tayong natawag nating right to remain silent. Okay? So this freedom also includes the right to an audience in the sense that the state cannot prohibit the people from hearing what a person has to say, whatever be the quality of his thoughts. Okay? So in other words, kapag gusto natin makinig sa mga nag-speech sa mga rally, walang pwedeng makapigil sa atin. However, again, okay, depende pa rin kung anong mga content at gaano at paano ang pagkasabi sa mga sinasabing yan sa public. Ito ba'y libelous, ito ba'y defamatory, or nag-incite ba ito ng sedition. Okay? So this right, however, also includes the right to listen and the right not to listen. So hindi tayo pwedeng pilitin din na makinig kung ayaw nating makinig. And finally, the freedom of expression. Pag sinabing freedom of expression, yung mga tattoo natin, no? Mga tattoo, may minsan naging issue yan yung tattoo kasi sabi na freedom of expression ko to is usually exercised through language. Yung ating pagsasabi, pananalita, basta wag naman morbid or hindi naman masyadong napaka-immoral yung mga salita natin. Oral and written. So we have the right to say something, to express something in our language, how to say it, or how to express it, provided na hindi naman to against the morality and against, we call it the decency of the society. Symbolism may also be used like cleansed fist, kaya hindi hinuhuli yung mga naka-cleansed fist kasi that's their expression. Okay? The bended knee, the salute to the flag itself, the picket line, pictures, caricatures, and cartons. Okay? Yan. Wordless, they articulate. In other words, kahit walang word na nakalagay, basta may ina-articulate yan, again, basta mga ito ay hindi libelous, hindi defamatory, hindi nag-incite ng sedition, okay lang mga yan. Okay? Yan ay karapatan natin na mag-express through our language, whether oral and written, and yung ginagamit natin na mga symbols natin. Okay? So that's all. Thank you for listening, and God bless.